Holy cannoli moly. What not? Why not? Hey, geeks. So I have discovered the Whatnot app, as I mentioned in my last video. And wow, what a piece of technology that is. Um, if you're unaware, Whatnot is a online auction app. It's social selling, which means basically you log in and you can see like multiple auctions live going on at the same time, and people are selling comics, they're selling vintage antiques and clothing and artwork and books, electronics like overstock electronics, all kinds of stuff. So it's essentially eBay, but it's live. So it's like you log in and you got like 50 home shopping networks operating at one time. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So as I mentioned in my last video, when I discovered it, created an account, I logged in, and I was blown away. I was aware of social selling, but I hadn't really looked at any social selling. I knew people were doing it on IG, but I actually tend not to click on live feeds in IG. So when I got in there, I don't even know who the first seller was that I went to, but the deals were insane. The comic book deals were insane. And, I probably got a little bit addicted to the dopamine hit for about a week and bought a few comics here and there. No, but there are some sellers, and you can follow the sellers that you like, but there are some sellers that were just offering insane prices. I'm not going to name names of these sellers, but there's one who sells, like Bronze Age lots, like ridiculously cheap. I got a bunch of Thors from this particular seller, and he was throwing down like 5, 6, 7 books and starting it at like $5. And all pretty good copies. I think we'll find out here because I haven't opened up any of the boxes yet. So there was another seller I found. They are kind of like the folks that go around and buy like storage units, and when they find comics, they sell them through Whatnot, and they were selling like bronze and maybe a little bit of Silver Age, basically at cover price. I am not going to tell you who they are. Actually, I don't even remember who they are. But yeah, I mean, they were just like throwing them down, man, and starting the bid at like 65 cents, or I guess maybe the app can only go as low as $1, but I was looking at the purchase schedule, and I was getting them. They were charging me like 65 cents, and then a lot of it was like free shipping. I'm not entirely sure how the shipping works, because a lot of them do free shipping, and that's what I look for, of course, because I'm cheap. I'm looking for free shipping wherever I can get it. But then I don't know, some of them, like, I guess they bundle them, and of course it saves on shipping or whatever. Shipping, if you've done shipping, you know how arcane of an art that can be. If I find a seller, though, and the shipping is like, right off the bat, it's like $8 or just $7 or something like that, and you're bidding on a $1 to $5 book, I mean, get out of here. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So it was addictive, and I broke the addiction eventually. I was like, well, I bought enough comics, and so I got to thinking, like, would this replace the act of going to a brick and mortar comic book shop looking for back issues? Would it replace, going to like a used bookstore that sells comics? Would it replace that whole experience? And at first I was thinking maybe it would, because some of the deals I was getting, I was buying comics that I know would probably be going for 25, 50 cents cheaper than what I would get, at some of these places that I go to. So, but the more I thought about it, after the initial rush of the novelty of the app wore off, the more I was like, well, for me, it may not be for other people, but for me, but I think it's true for most comic book fans. The more a big part of the fun and the joy is being able to go to the shops. And in a lot of these places, like you probably know the staff or you know the owner, which is always a good thing. So there might be a little bit of a sense of community, like there sort of is with my local comic shop. And then even some of the big box, used book retailers, it's just always fun to go in there and, get a cup of coffee and just thumb through, the dollar quarter bins or whatever and see what you find. Because I found some really cool stuff that way. One that comes to mind is a comic called Mega City 909. The publisher is Ice Studios, publishing, I think, through Devil's Due, neither of which I think are solvent any longer. I think this comic came out in the mid 2000s range, like 2005, if I'm correct, 2006. But it's a heck of a comic. Like when I first picked it up, I thought it was like computer generated art comics, which I have a thing for. I kind of collect those. And but it turns out when I did some research on the artists and the creators, it actually was pencils. And then they were calling it, these are painted comics, which they look painted, but I thought they were like digitally painted, and they might still be. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm intrigued by this comic book. And also because the story in it is pretty good. So I found the other back issues physically on my comic book online, mycomicshop.com online. I didn't buy them. I'm reading the series digitally over on readcomiconline.com. But I'd like to have the physical copies because it's a beautiful book. And frankly, for like an indie published comic, this story was pretty decent. It's kind of like a cyberpunk / horror mashup anime, with like an anime flair. So I dug it. And, I would have never found that comic otherwise. Like if someone had thrown that comic book in front of me on an online auction, I probably would have been like, well, I'm not familiar with that, so I'll take a pass, So there's still value, and there always will be value in the tactile sensations of going to a comic book shop and thumbing through the boxes, and finding stuff that intrigues you, because that's how that's how you discover new comics, or one of the ways you discover new comics. Like I'll buy stuff based on the cover alone. Or if it's like a certain genre comic, if it's like, like Cyber Tech Ninja or something, I'm probably likely to, and I've never heard of it, never seen it. I'm probably going to, I'm going to take a shot at it. It's a $1.50 comic book. Yeah, I'm going to buy that. So, Whatnot, I think, has its uses, definitely, for sure. But it's not going to replace brick and mortar comic book shops. In fact, most of the sellers I found are brick and mortar comic book shops, and they're using Whatnot as just another avenue to sell their product, which is very cool. That's very cool. So all of my boxes have arrived. I don't think that we're going to be able to go through all of them in this video, but I've got 2 of them. There were a total of 5. There are a total of 5. So let's try to get through 2 of these, and let's see what kind of goodies I got. This first box comes from Gotham Thrifty, New York. So I will call them out as a seller. They're very, very good auction. I enjoyed the presentation, the way they handled the auction. I thought they had some pretty decent deals, but I didn't end up buying a whole lot from the session that I was in. But in fact, I don't even remember what I bought. So we're going to find out. But I do appreciate their packaging here. They package these up pretty good. So these comics are in here nice and tight, nice and secure. So let's get them out. Mail call is always fun. Jeez. This is the shipping manifest. All right. What do we got here? X-Men Ultimate issue number 1, or Ultimate X-Men issue number 1. I think I got this for $2 or $3. If you know what it's, and it's a good copy too. It's a good copy. So it was $2.99 retail. So I may have gotten it at below cover price. Picked up an issue of the Micronauts, issue number 30, back when they were 50 cents. Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the microverse. So Broderick did the cover here. What was his name? Was it Keith Broderick? Was that the guy's name? This is the, after Michael Golden era. But Micronauts was still a pretty cool book. An issue of Captain America that I did not have, the Jack Kirby era from 70s, 30 cents. Great Kirby cover. Excellent condition. I think I got this for like $2. God, I love this cover, man. Look at that. Falcon and the Night Flyer. Only Marvel would dare it. Blinded, hospitalized, Cap fights his deadliest battle. He strikes, he kills, he can't be stopped. The Night Flyer. 1977, man. Part 1 of 3, The Many Deaths of Batman. Another cool cover. John Byrne, Jim Aparo, DiCarlo. I mean, come on, man. You can't go wrong with this. May of 1989. I don't think I paid more than $2, maybe $3 tops for any of these books. Got an issue of The Flash, $1. Cover price, double size comic, 25th anniversary. No ads. Thanks, DC. This is it, a 300th issue extravaganza. You can see there he's knocking out his rogues gallery. You got Chill. Is it Mr. Chill? Grodd. I forget the orange and green dude's name. I should remember his name. I will, but not at the moment. Another issue of The Flash, issue 299. So I got issue 299 and issue 300. And I don't have a lot of Flash either, so it's good to kind of start filling those in. Batman, Gotham Knights. I was vaguely aware of this comic, but really don't know anything about it. May of 1992. This is another 4-issue miniseries. The People of Gotham City and Batman. Ostrander, Mitchell, and Patterson. So, get a closer look at that cover. You can see Batman lingering in the background. This was the creme de la creme. Blade Runner, Marvel Super Special, official adaptation. Yeah, buddy. Now, I did pay more than $1 for this. So I remember now. So it was funny. They were, they had the wall in the background, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna start, auctioning off some of these wall comics." And I was just waiting for them to take this one down. I think I was against maybe 2 other bidders in it. I don't think a lot of people in the auction knew the value of this book, but I paid enough for it that I think that I got a good arbitrage on it. I think I got it for probably $30 to $40 less than what it would go for, say, on like eBay. Again, not that that's my intent, but I actually have a copy of this. I bought a copy of this when I was a kid. But I wanted another copy of it, and I got it. So that was the highlight of the evening. Yeah, and I believe it's this cover is Steranko, I think the interior is Al Williamson, I think, or it might be Shaken. I don't remember. It's one of the two, though. I know Williamson did the fantastic work on a lot of the Star Wars movie stuff, especially like Empire Strikes Back. So I think it was Shaken. Actually, that I got to look that up because it's going to drive me crazy. Yes, I could open the book, but I don't want to at the moment. I think there's tape on it, and we all hate tape. Let's see here. Oh, so there's so many Blade Runner comics now associated with, Blade Runner 2049 and like all of the other adaptations that have come out. Let's see. Yeah, Al Williamson. And it was adapted by Archie Goodwin, so Al Williamson. But yeah, there's a ton of Blade Runner comics out there now. Based on Black Lotus, which I think was kind of the anime, which I haven't seen. I need to sit down and watch that. So there's ongoing Blade Runner comics coming out now. I have a couple. I think I've shown them off on other videos, but that one I just showed is where it all started. The Thor, or the Mighty Thor, 20 cents. I don't have any Thors this old. I do now. Again, I'm pretty sure that's a Kirby cover. Yeah. And no, I did not pay $6 for this. Actually, that's a price tag from whoever they bought it from. So these guys operate. They go out and buy whole boxes, long boxes from other sellers or individual owners and whatnot. But yeah, Loki Triumphant. So issue 194. The cover's beautiful. Mayhem, and as only Kirby can do it. The Mighty Thor, starring in Marvel Spectacular, issue number 16, 25 cents. Odin, my father, why have you forsaken me? Abandoned onto Earth. So this is when, when Odin, because he's displeased with Thor, casts him onto Earth. A little bit of a Jesus Christ allegory there, Can this be the end of the God of Thunder? This looks like a Kirby. I'm going to say this is a Kirby layout, but someone else did the artwork over it. Maybe Ernie Cohen or Gene Cohen. I don't know. I don't know. It looks like a Kirby layout though. So, but yeah, and I think this is probably a reprint of a Thor issue. So, I don't think that story originated here in Marvel Spectacular. But still, Bronze Age, right? Or Silver Age, at least. Wolverine, number 60. I love that color, that cover. The cover is wild. I am not familiar with these Wolverines. This is kind of a modern comic, $2.99 price tag, issue number 60, Guggenheim, but it's got Shaken in the artwork. So I was like, yeah, I'll take that out. I'll pick it up. Everybody seemed excited about this comic. So, Howard Shaken, Wolverine, yeah, I'll check it out. The Flash, featuring Dr. Fate. One, because I was trying to, beef up my Flash, but also anything with Dr. Fate is like an instant buy for me. What issue is this? Issue 310. It says it's graded as a very fine. It probably is. But yeah, the Lord of Order in his never-ending struggle against the forces of chaos. Plus Captain Boomerang and Colonel Computron. I definitely will enjoy reading that. Captain Boomerang and Colonel Computron. Double-sized issue of the Uncanny X-Men, issue 200. I do not have this issue. This was in the latter part of the period of time when I was collecting X-Men. So this is covered by JRJR. I don't know what year it came out, but I'm guessing like late 80, 89, between 89 and 91, possibly. But that's about it. Yeah, it's not any younger than that. So that's what I got from them. Now I got another box here. It's bigger. And let's open it up. This is the size of this box, so substantially larger number of comics in here. Oh, I love the packaging. Thank you. Good packaging is always appreciated. These comics have been well protected. Also makes it kind of a pain to open on camera, so your patience is appreciated. People always feel like they need to talk when they're unpacking their comics, right? Good packaging, though, is easy to open. I just want to gently remove the bubble wrap. All right, there we go. I also I like this. So no covers. Protected them. You know what I mean? He protected them by putting the backs facing to the top of the box. Oh, these are the Batman Gotham. So Batman Gotham Adventures. I got a ton of these. The guy was just throwing them down individually. I was getting them, and then he was like, "Look," and nobody else wanted them. I don't know why. I don't know for sure if these are reprints of the New Adventures of Batman, which is all of this is based on Batman the Animated Series. And like I said in previous videos, I think these are, in some shops, maybe undervalued. But I've taken to collecting them because I like them, and I like the show. So yeah, there's going to be more of these in this box, I'm sure. This is issue number 32. Let's see what year this came out. 2001, January of 2001, if I'm reading this correctly. It's either January 2001. Forbidden Worlds. Stories of Strange Adventure. Magic Man meets Nemesis. Number 136, July. This is from the American Comics Group. No longer around. This came out 1966. Art by Pete Costanza. Costanza? Can't stand ya. But I can stand Pete Costanza. Magic Man meets Nemesis. So some off DC, off Marvel, Silver Age madness here. I got a thing for these strange adventures, unknown worlds, journey into weird space, whatever, especially these ones that are aren't really like published by Marvel or DC. Wow. Woo, look at all the dialogue on these 2 pages. That's a lot of words, man. A lot of story being told right there. But, I dig it. I'm interested in that type of storytelling where, Claremont like to use a lot of dialogue. And how do you balance scenarios where you need to have a lot of dialogue with the need to convey the artwork that also pushes the story along, How do you do that? That's always, I think, an interesting challenge or problem to figure out when you're creating a comic book. Look at this. Pterodactyls and robots. Only in the comics, folks. I have no idea what the value of this would be. It's in pretty decent shape. I'm not a expert on grading comics, but I would say this is probably, would rank a good, not very fine, but like a good or very good. The spine's in good shape, staples are all together. There's some folding in it, but whatever. I'm not slabbing it. I'm gonna read it. I actually had never even heard of that book until I bought it. Here's another issue of the Micronauts. So issue number 15. So I bought this. I'm sure I have this issue, but I bought it. But look at the top. The register was off, so it sliced off the top of the 40 and the 15 and the Marvel Comics Group logo. Yeah, I'm sure. I know I have this issue because I remember when the Fantastic Four, and this cover is a Michael Golden. So I don't know if the slice up here makes this book more rare, potentially more valuable, but that's why I bought it, and I think I got it for like $1 or $2. You see a nice little splash page with the Fantastic Four. Golden wasn't doing the art on this one. Howard Chaykin did the breakdowns. Al Milgrom finished it. Al Milgrom. Oh, look at these panels. That's nice. That's nice. I don't see stuff like this in modern comics too much. Not from Marvel and DC, but that basically you've got 2 panels contained in 2 pages. Both of them are spread apart. So yeah, Micronauts was still good in that phase. Issue number 1 of Warrior Nun Ariella. I have no idea what this book is, but she looks really cool. And it's a number 1, independent publishing, Antarctic Press. Good condition. I know nothing of this book, but I gave it a shot because I liked the cover. Savage Dragon and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. Mirage Publishing. So I'm trying to get. I actually wasn't on the Ninja Turtles bandwagon. I was aware that they existed. I'm sure I looked at their books, but at the time when I was looking at their stuff, believe it or not, I actually felt like they were beneath my snobby 12-year-old comic book collecting tastes. And because I didn't like black and white too much, black and white comics. And I think I remember looking at the artwork thinking, oh, this is like really like just dashed out. It doesn't have kind of like the like the visual panache that like a Marvel or a DC book would have, So yeah, I just didn't. I think I even thought the concept was kind of ridiculous, so I didn't jump in on it. And Savage Dragon, I don't know much about Savage Dragon other than what I've seen on videos on YouTube. However, the Ninja Turtles, though, I've definitely have warmed up to them, and so I've been grabbing a few things here and there. I've got a couple of trade paperbacks. I picked up some early issues of The Last Ronin, and when I also became familiar with the story of Eastman and Laird, I think it's a fantastic story that these guys basically just sat down and started creating a comic book on notebook paper and with the tools that they had, and now it's a $1 billion franchise now. I don't know who owns it at this point. Is it Hasbro or Mattel? I don't know. But yeah, so for $1, and it's an issue number 1, Mirage Publishing. We'll check it out. Weapon X, I got this for $2 or $3. This is the Barry Windsor Smith, I believe. Yes, Story and Art by B.W. West. Barry also did some of the lettering on this with Jim Novak. This is a much lauded issue, I believe, by collectors. I did not pick it up. I was not in the game when this came out. Let's see, 1991. Yeah, I had stopped. I had become an adult by then, working my little corporate job and trying to be cool, and reading comics wasn't cool. But look at this artwork, dude. I mean, and it's not even bagged and boarded, and that's not a slap against the seller. I don't think they knew what they had, actually. So I will definitely be reading this, and then I will be bagging it and boarding it, and it will be going into the vault. Because I have not read that comic. I hear a lot about it. I have not read it. I can see why people love it, though. Wanted, the world's most dangerous villains. This is 20 cents, some Bronze Age madness from DC. I was going to say Bronze Age goodness, which it is, but it's also Bronze Age madness. I don't know what this is. It's issue number 3. I see Dr. Fate in it. I think it's just it's like some kind of anthology that has some DC villains in it. I don't remember it. I never saw it. It was before my time. But it's in great condition. So, let's pop it out and have a look at it. It looks interesting. Let me get a better look at that cover. Oh, Vigilante's in it. Even better. Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Okay, so, this is a cool cover, but looking at it, like, I have to really study it to see who the superheroes are that are involved. Pencils by Mort Meskin and Joe Kubert, inks on this one. Vigilante. Vigilante is he's an interesting character. Vigilante is in a ton of Justice League Unlimited, the DC animated TV show. The dude pops up like in every other episode. And that's how I was like getting re-familiar with him. I was like, yeah, I remember seeing that guy pop up in DC every now and then, but I don't know much about him. So I almost think that these might be reprints. This looks like Golden Age artwork, but this is a Bronze Age book. Let's see, this came out in 1972 is when it was published. Yeah, I think, yeah, these are like Bronze Age reprints, I think, with some old Hawkman in there. And let's see, let's look at the Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate taking on some fish-headed men with tridents. Yeah. There's nothing mythologically symbolic about that at all. All right. Cool. What else? Phoenix, The Untold Story, the original, uncensored, never-before-published conclusion to the saga of Phoenix. So when I read the Phoenix saga in real time, when I was a kid, I was like everybody else. It like blew me away. It was like, whoa. So I don't know if these are, I don't know if there's like reprints. I think these are reprints of the, basically it's kind of a collected Dark Phoenix saga. But there's some additional material in it. This is the additional material. The Dark Phoenix tapes, A Candid Conversation, probably with Claremont. Let's see. A candid conversation between John Byrne, Jim Shooter, Chris Claremont, Sally Krupp, Louis Jones, and Terry Austin. So, so basically they're just, this is Marvel's kind of self-promotion. The creators are talking to one another about, I guess, the creative decisions that they made when they went through the creation of that arc, which is unfortunately has not been redone very well in the X-Men movies. It's a reprint. It's on a finer paper stock. It's not Baxter paper, but it's not like old school newsprint either. Let's see. This was published in '84, so even then they were still cashing in on that story. I mean, you talk about a story that's probably it's literally generated millions upon millions of dollars between comic book sales, reprints, the movies. I'm sure all of which Claremont made a hefty royalty on. That's sarcasm. All right, and here's this run of Batman Gotham Adventures up against Clayface. Issue number 30. Issue number 33, Batman No More. Every once in a while, Bruce Wayne gives up the cape and cowl, but he always comes back. You always have to come back. Here's another one. Issue number 34. One thing I've noticed about these covers, they don't have a lot of words. There's not like a lot of marketing blurb. This one here, it just says Crime and Punishment. That's a cool cover. Issue 35. Issue 36, we got some Superman action involved here. World's Finest. I think that might be based on the episode when they first meet, possibly. When Superman first meets Batman. I think Batman shows up. I've talked about that in the past. Batman shows up in Metropolis and basically strikes up a romance with Lois Lane, and this is before Clark and Lois got together, and it just doesn't sit well with Superman. Issue 39. Freezer Burn. Issue 40. Trapped in Ice. Hold on here. Make sure my stack's not getting too out of control. Fighting Forces. Hunter's Hellcats. Love the checkerboard banner, man. Issue 107 of Our Fighting Forces. Looks like a Kubert. It's got to be a Kubert cover. Yeah, I don't have any of these. No, I maybe one or two. Not this old though. Not this old. This was 12 cents, and it's in great condition. I think I got it for like $3. This issue of G.I. Joe, issue 52. I don't think I have this issue. I think my run, I have issues like 1 through probably 30 something, maybe a little more, but I think I tapped out by time issue 52 rolled around. But yeah, so pick that up to kind of fill out that run. Millie the Model, issue 134, Marvel, 12 cents. This was at the dawn of the Silver Age, of the Marvel Age. This is one of the books that Marvel was publishing when Fantastic Four came out and launched the new resurgence and renaissance of superhero comics. Let's see what the date is. I don't even know if these old ones have indicia in them or not, so I would have to look it up, but this is probably 60, 61. Again, I don't think the auctioneer knew what they had here. It's in pretty decent shape for a comic this old. If you want to get a real good look at these, Cartoonist Kayfabe's been running through these early issues of Marvel Comics, from about 1959, 1960 on. Yes, basically they call it like the dawn of the Marvel Age or the dawn of the Silver Age, because they have all these on digital files, which I'm sure are out there on the internet. But yeah, and I'm not a romance comics guy, but I believe that Kirby did the artwork in this issue, in a lot of these issues. So, you know, I snagged it. I think it was I think it started at $1. I probably got it for $2. Somebody probably tried to bid it up, but yeah, I thought it would be interesting to have it in the collection. Definitely got a bag and board that one. Issue 27 of Batman Gothic Adventures Wrongfully Accused. Batman's in jail. I think he's getting bust out. 28, got some Riddler action. Looks like Nightwing is in this one. Oh, and the other Robin. What's his face? All right, got another stack here. Let's toss that. This is the last bag. We're at 40 minutes, so we'll roll through this one. Tape. Where can I get this tape? There we go. The last bag was packaged so that I could open it from the top. This one I have to come in through the side. So, what can you do? This is interesting. The Marvels, some really cool Alex Ross artwork. This is one that has the cellophane cover. Book number 3 is what this is. Published March of 1994. And you get some Alex Ross artwork goodness. So yeah, this kind of like acetate is what it is. Acetate wraparound cover. Then you got some Galactus action. Yeah, so I don't own any copies of this. I don't have any copies of Marvels. A much celebrated book, so I figured with that variant cover, which I think it's a variant cover. I don't think all of them came out with acetate wraparound covers. I figured I'd give it a shot. Strange Adventures, DC Comics, 52 big pages for 25 cents. The Human Fishbowl, Star Rovers, Where Was I Born? The Spaceman Who Came to Dinner, Adam Strange, Challenge of the Rival Starman. So I pick up these Strange Adventures when I find them. Let's see, June of 1972 is when this one was issued. Here we got some Carmine Infantino artwork. The Human Fishbowl. So this is another one of these weird sci-fi, anthologies. But Adam Strange was a I guess like a regular feature in it. Let's see if we can find some decent panels. Oh, I love these ads. Remember these? You could buy 14 records for $2.86. Everybody used to do that. They'd get their 14 records, they'd buy maybe one more record, and then they would cancel the subscription. don't know who. Let's see. I've seen these. Like I've bought other copies of these for like $15 or $20 in this condition at at various comic book stores. The story, The Spaceman Who Came to Dinner, story by Otto Binder, art by Manny Stallman and Frank Giacoya. There's something, I don't know, there's something disturbing about this artwork, but in a cool way. It looks like artificial, and maybe it is. We'll find out when we read it. But yeah, I don't know how. This is issue number 236. I don't know how long this feature ran with DC Comics. I think it's one of those comics that probably had a different name at some point. It probably morphed into another version, another run for Starman or something. I don't know. I have not researched the history on it. I've just been buying them when I find them. And this one came up too. So this is issue 237. Bronze Age Superman. This is a great cover. Can you guess who found 8 different ways to kill Superman? Well, it's not really different if he's just hanging. Like he only found one way. They hung him up. But yeah, let's see what we got here in the timeline. This came out November of 1973. Story by Cary Bates, art by Kurt Swan, Murphy Anderson. Kurt Swan with a legendary long run. It's pretty interesting paneling for that era. Inventive, novel. But I mean, you do find a lot of that. Comics have always been inventive and novel. Not so much moribund like they are today with DC and Marvel, unfortunately. Another Bronze Age Superman, The Man of Molten Steel, number 263. I like this cover a lot because the photo collage background, something you would see Kirby do quite a bit. Issue 41 of Batman Gotham Adventures. Issue 42, Fire Trap. Am I the only one who likes these? I might be the only person who likes these and who has just collected like a ton of them. 17. 18. I love these covers. Most of these covers. This is a great cover. Man Bat. See him pushing Batman's face into the doorway, trapped in there with Man Bat. Issue number 20. Got Tim Drake and Dick Grayson, Nightwing. Now I remembered his name. This cover is really good. Some of you will know what this is. So this triggers me in a good way. So one of the first comic book covers I ever saw, maybe the first I ever saw, I've talked about that issue of Avengers that has Orca on it fighting the Avengers. The other issue I saw was Mad Magazine, the famous It's Melvin cover. And this is a riff on that. So that's pretty cool. I like that. And in fact, I think either I have it or my brother might have it, but we still have that issue of Mad Magazine. As kids, we would read it and reread it and reread it. But that cover just always intrigued me because it was just this first time I think I was ever exposed to like that type of visual scenario where you have people sort of cowering in fear, but you don't see the thing that they're afraid of. You just kind of see the shadow of it. Issue number 11. Issue number 9. Batgirl in that one. Number 8. Number 7. That's a cool cover. Number 5, another cool cover. Mr. Freeze. Everybody's frozen. The weather forecast tonight is chill. There's going to be a chill. Number 4, Catgirl or Catwoman. That is a cool cover. Anything with cats. Number 26, Save My Baby. Number 25, The Flash. Number 24, number 23, Ra's al Ghul. Number 22. Yeah, I got a lot of these. More than actually I remembered. Number 21. Better find that dynamite. Finish it up with Captain America and the Falcon. Issue 140, In the Grip of the Gargoyle. 15 cents. No more Bronze Age goodness. This possibly might be the oldest. No, it can't be. I was going to say it might be the oldest issue of Captain America that I have, but I'm sure I have issues that are older. But I think this was the Kirby run. It doesn't look like a Kirby cover to me, so I'm intrigued. Let's see, publishing date 1971. Art by John Romita. Okay. Lettering by Artie Simek. Yeah. In the Grip of the Gargoyle. Let's see if we can get a double-H spread here. Gargoyle is a pretty cool villain. So that does it for 2 boxes. That was just 2 boxes. So I got 3 more. There's a bigger box. And then there's a box about the size of the one that we just went through, the second box, and then there's a smaller box. I'd say all of these came from maybe 4, maybe 5 different sellers. So, all right. Thanks for watching. We will go through all of these. If you're not on Whatnot, check it out. Use a little bit of, what is it they say in those gambling commercials? Don't bet what you can't pay or something like that. Gamble responsibly. So on Whatnot, auction responsibly. That would be my PSA. But more than anything, have fun. And above all, stay geek.